Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Green. We're doing another Read the Bible in 1 year, day 128, 2nd Chronicles 26 through 28. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, that way you get updated whenever I post a new video. Like the video and also comment. You can comment anything you want. You can say hi or thank you. Anything you comment is really going to help me out. Remember, I'm dyslexic and I stutter, so sometimes if I say a big word, I get a little confused. Just bear with me, and here we go. 2nd Chronicles chapter 26. Then all the people of Judah took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the room for his father Amaz. And he built Eloth and restored it to Judah. After that, the king slept with his fathers. 16 years old was Uzziah when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was also Jecholah of Jerusalem. And so he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Amaz did. And he sought God in the days of Zechariah, who had understanding in the visions of God. And as long as he sought the Lord, God made him to prosper. And he went forth and warred against the Philistines, and broke down the walls of Gath, and the walls of Jabneh, and the walls of Ashdod. And he built cities round about Ashdod and among the Philistines. And God helped him against the Philistines and against the Arabians that dwelt in Gerbel and the Mehunims. And the Ammonites gave gifts to Uzzah, and his name spread abroad even to the entering of Egypt, and he strengthened himself exceedingly. Moreover, Uzzah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate and the valley gate, and at the turning of the wall, and fortified them. Also he built towers in the desert, and digged many wells, for he had much cattle, both in the low country and in the plains, husbandmen also, and vine dressers of the mountain, and in Carmel, and he loved husbandry. Moreover, Uzzah had a host of fighting men that went unto war by bands, according to the number of their account, by the hands of Jezreel the scribe, and Manasseh the ruler over the hand of Hanai, one of the king's captains. The whole number of the chief of his fathers, the mighty men of valor, were 2,600. And under their hand was an army, 300,000, and 300,000, and 7,500, that made war with mighty power to help the king against the enemy. And Uzzah prepared for them throughout all the host shields and spears and helmets and habergeons and bows and slings to cast stones. And he made Jerusalem engines, invented by cunning men, to be on the towers and upon the bulwarks, to shoot arrows of great stones withal. And his name spread far abroad, for he was marvelously helped, till he was strong. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to destruction, for he transgressed against the Lord God, and went to the temple of the Lord to burn incense upon the altar of incense. And Azariah the priest went in after him, and put him 80 priests of the Lord that were valiant men. And they withstood Uzzah the king, and said to him, It appertained not unto thee, Uzzah, to burn incense to the Lord, but the priests of the sons of Aaron that are consecrated to burn incense. Go out of the sanctuary, for thou hast trespassed, neither shall it be for thine honor from the Lord God. Then Uzzah was wroth, and had a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he was wroth with the priests, the leprosy even rose on his forehead before the priests of the house of the Lord, and besides the incense altar. And Azariah the chief priest and all the priests looked upon him, and behold, he was leprous in his forehead. And they thrust him out of thence. Yea, himself hasted to go out, because the Lord had smitten him. And Uzzah the king was a leper until the day of his death, and dwelt in several houses, being a leper, for he was cut off from the house of the Lord. And Jocham his son was over the king's house, judging the people of the land. Now the rest of the acts of Uzzah, first and last, did Uzziah the prophet, the son of Amaz, write. And Uzzah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the field of the burial which belonged to the kings. For they said, He is a leper, and Jotham his son reigned in his stead. 2 Chronicles chapter 27. Jotham was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was also Jeresh, the daughter of Zidok. And he did which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Uzzah did. Howbeit he entered not into the temple of the Lord, and the people did yet corruptly. And he built high gate in the house of the Lord, and on the wall of Ophel he built much. Moreover, he built cities in the mountains of Judah, and in the forest he built castles and towers. He fought also with the king of the Ammonites to prevail against them. And the children of Ammon gave him the same year 100 talents of silver, and 10,000 measures of wheat, and 10,000 of barley, so much that the children of Ammon paid it to him, both the second year and the third. So Jotham became mighty because he prevailed his ways before the Lord his God. Now the rest of the acts of Jotham and all his wars and all his ways, lo, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. And Jotham slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David, and Ahaz his son reigned in his stead. 2 Chronicles chapter 28. Ahaz was 20 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, but he did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord, as like David his father. For he walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, and made also molten images for Balaam. Moreover, he burnt incense in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and burnt his children in the fire after the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. He sacrificed also, and burnt incense in the high places and in the hills and under every green tree. Wherefore the Lord his God delivered him to the hands of the king of Syria, and they smote him and carried away a great multitude of them captive, and brought them to Damascus. And he was also delivered to the hands of the king of Israel, who smote him with a great slaughter. For Pekah the son of Remaliah slew in Judah 120,000 in one day, which were all valiant men, because they had forsaken the Lord God of their fathers. And Zechariah the mighty men of Ephraim slew Messiah the king's son, and Erzerkim, the governor of the house, and Elclean, the next to the king. And the children of Israel carried away captive from their brethren 200,000, women, sons, and daughters. And they took away also but spoils from them, and brought the spoil in Samaria. But a prophet of the Lord was there, whose name was Oded, and he went out before the host that came to Samaria, and said to them, Behold, because the Lord God of your father was wroth with Judah, he has delivered them to your hand, and have slain them a rage that reaches up into the heaven. And now he purposed to keep under the children of Judah and Jerusalem for bondsmen and bondswomen unto you. But are there not with you, even with you, sins against the Lord your God? Now hear me therefore, and deliver the captives again, which ye have taken captive of your brethren, for the fierce wrath of the Lord is upon you. And certain of the heads of the children of Ephraim, Azariah the son of Jochan, Birhachanan the son of Melomoth, and Zechariah the son of Shalom, and Amos the son of Hidlai, stood up against them that came from the war, and said unto them, You should not bring the captives hither, for whereas we have offered against the Lord already, you intend to add more to our sin and to our trespass, for our trespass is great, and there is fierce wrath against Israel. So the armed men left the captives and the spoils before the princes and all the congregation. And the men which were expressed by name rose up, and took the captives with the spoil clothed that were naked among them, and arrayed them, and shod them, and gave them to eat and drink, and anointed them, and carried them feeble to them on asses, and brought them to Jericho, the city of palm trees, to their brethren. Then they returned to Samaria. And at that time did King Ahaz send to the king of Assyria to help him, for against the Edomites had come and smitten Judah, and carried away captives. The Philistines also had invaded the cities of the low country in the south of Judah, and had taken Bethshemesh and Ajalon, and Gadaroth, and Soko with the villages therefore, and Timnai with the villages there, and Gizmo also the villages thereof, and they dwelt there. The Lord brought Judah low because of Ahaz king of Israel, for he made Judah naked and transgressed sore against the Lord. And Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria came to him, and distressed him, and strengthened him not. For Ahaz took away a portion out of the house of the Lord, out of the house of the king and of the princes, and gave it to the king of Assyria, but he held him not. And in the time of his distress did he trespass yet more against the Lord, that is King Ahaz. For he sacrificed to the Lord God of Damascus, which smote him, and he said, Because the God of the kings of Syria helped them, therefore I will sacrifice to them, but they may help me, but they were ruin of him and all of Israel. And Ahaz gathered together the vessels of the house of God, and cut in pieces the vessels of the house of God, and shut up the doors of the house of the Lord. And he made them altars in every corner of Jerusalem. And in every civil city of Judah he made a high place to burn incense unto other gods, and provoked the anger of the Lord God to his fathers. Now the rest of the acts of his ways, first and last, behold, are they written in the book of the king of Judah and of Israel. And Amal slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city, even in Jerusalem, but they brought him not to the sepulchres of the kings of Israel, and Hezekiah his son reigned in his stead. Well guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, Click the notification bell. That way you get updated whenever I post a new video. Like the video and also comment. Comment anything you want. It really helps me out. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen. The bottom right is going to be the Read the Bible in 1 Year study. The top left is going to be a playlist I think you're going to like. And then the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube things you're going to like. If you know somebody that might benefit from this, please share it with them. You can also share it on social media. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.